The resignation of the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi, on health grounds has thrown political combatants into the ring within the governing party. Although an acting chairman, Borno State-born Ali Bukar Dalori, has assumed office, the July 24 National Executive Committee meeting of the party to nominate Ganduje's successor will define a new era in its organogram as the APC basks in the euphoria of its new chairman and forthcoming NEC meeting. Political observers fear that if not well managed, the choice of its national chairman, either in the interim or substantive, could set it on edge. And joining us now to discuss the role of the governors in the governing party, APC, in Ganduje's resignation, as well as the challenge posed by the coalition platform, the ADC, is Abdullahi Sule, Governor of Nasarawa State. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for being on the news tonight.
Good to have you.
I know this conversation should center around your party, but let's begin with what has happened in the political space today in Nigeria. Political heavyweights have now settled for a party to challenge your party in the forthcoming election, the ADC. How did you react when you saw that news and the faces behind the name? Are you concerned?
To be honest with you, first, I didn't see the news. I spent most of the day in Kano today. I went for the condolence visit, of the late Dantata's family. It just happens to coincide with the day you have invited me to speak about the visit of Mr. President to our state. This is the day I selected because tomorrow we are going to have a groundbreaking in Kefi for another development similar to the one we had in Lafia. So I promised your producers that I was going to be here today, to discuss that. So it's just a coincidence that we end up having this. So I didn't watch it much, but I think it's a good day for APC because it goes to vindicate our president. Mr. President clearly said that he is not out there to have a one-party, country, and as a result of that, he expects there should be a very strong opposition. And if you say that there are heavyweights that have formed an opposition, well, that goes to confirm exactly what Mr. President has said. So instead of scaring people, he should make out the people of our party ready, to get up and work harder and ensure that this is something that we have to work on.
So it does seem that you're saying that these heavyweights will not cause the APC any kind of sleepless nights?
I don't know about sleepless nights, but definitely, it is something that was already expected by Mr. President when he said clearly that there is not going to be a one-party state. That's not his intention. His intention is to play democracy and to ensure that we have a strong opposition. So if there is a very strong opposition, as you confirmed, that agrees with what our president has said.
Well, the faces behind it, such as the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former President of the Senate David Mack, former presidential candidate and Governor of Anambra State Peter Obi, former Governor of Kaduna State Nasiru El-Rufai, former Governor of Rivers State Rotimi Amechi, and the likes that are in this party. So they are known faces. They've been in government. They've been in your party. They've been around, so they know how it works. And that's why, they are being seen as powerful heavyweights in politics in Nigeria. And that's why I couched it that way. But let's move to your party now. When a national chairman resigns abruptly, some say it usually means something is deeper. So what was really the reason behind his resignation? It was abrupt. There are insinuations that the president had a hand in it. But you're a member of the neck of your party as a governor. So you should know what happened. Why did your national chairman resign abruptly? Health grounds, we saw him everywhere representing the president and at different events. So political watchers and observers are not buying that reason.
Well, if they're not buying the reason, they should ask him to explain if there is any other reason. As far as I know, is somebody, if you look at it, as I said, I just left Kano, this evening to arrive here in Abuja. And while I was in Kano, I met one or two of some of his people very close to him. And I heard about the plans, to receive him in a very big way and welcome him back for all his contributions. But you have to look at the age of somebody like Ganduje. And in fact, I went to Hajj with him. We went together on the same day. We went to Hajj. So he performed Hajj, if you want to say, because that's one of the most difficult aspects of a Muslim obligations, for somebody to go and perform Hajj. But this matter of sickness, it can also come with age. If somebody gets to a certain age, there are so many things that the person may be getting up, trying very hard.
Of course, in his case, he's 75. As we're told.
Yeah, so, right. Well, not as you are told. That's, if he tells you he's 75, he's 75. But that's exactly what it is. It's somebody who has been dragging and trying and working very hard to do that. So if he says, I want to rest, somebody like Ganduje, they were the people that set up Abuja. This Abuja that you see, somebody like Ganduje were there when the movement, from Lagos to Abuja started during the CRDP area, and for that reason, he has been there for a very, very long time. So if he says based on health ground, I want to go and rest and this and that on age, I believe him.
Okay. Right. Well, there are other issues there. A lot of talk around permutations that this really has to do with 2027, permutations, calculations as to where should the chairmanship really be to improve the chances and the fortunes of the APC come 2027. Now, as a North Central governor, and you are the chairman of the North Central Governors Forum, there's this clamor for the chairmanship of the party, of the APC, to return to the North Central, considering the fact that Abdullahi Adamu, the previous chairman, came from the North Central, and the Constitution says it should, remain there. Are you part of that clamor? Are you calling seriously for the chairmanship of the APC to go to the North Central? And what really would it mean at the end of the day for the APC come 2027?
Well, when Abdullahi Adamu, Senator Abdullahi Adamu was stepped down, definitely we wanted it to come back to the zone, because we were able to share these positions, for equity and to make sure everybody is included in the whole, which is the tradition of our APC. So now that His Excellency Ganduje has left, definitely all of us from the North Central will pray and wish and work hard to ensure that it comes back to the zone where it truly belongs in the first place. But when the decision is made at the highest level, you don't go start questioning the decision. So when Ganduje was given, Ganduje deserved to be chairman. And that's the reason why we didn't have to argue about it so much. But right now that His Excellency Ganduje is no longer there, definitely the people of the North Central are very interested to ensure that their position comes back to the North Central.
What would it mean for the APC in 2027?
More chances for the party. The party had some few challenges, even though we have 5 out of the 6 governors. But at the presidential election, we had a few challenges here and there. So if the position comes back to the North Central, then our chances in the North Central actually become brighter.
Right.
Let's talk about Nasarawa State. President Bola Tinubu was just in your state recently to commission some projects which your administration is touting as legacy projects. Tell us about those projects. Why are they so important to you? I'm saying flyover. You also had the dam. Was there a dam project among listed as part of your legacy project? Tell us about these legacy projects and why they are so important to the people of Nasarawa State. Okay.
Every one of these projects actually is extremely important to the people of Nasarawa State. You see, there are projects that people see, the physical one, and then the one people don't see. When we took Mr. President around, yes, he came to commission the underpass and also the flyover. Both of them are situated where there had been multiple accidents, in the area. And in most cases, a lot of people died during those accidents. So today, with these 2 structures, we've been able to completely eliminate those chances, of vehicles coming in the night, to hit people on the ground and that. So vehicles can actually come into life here now and leave without going through that. But those are not even the biggest things. The biggest project we invited Mr. President to come is actually about our secretariat. So we didn't have a secretariat because Nasarawa State is one of the newest 6 states that were created, in 1996, 28 years ago. So when the state was created, is somebody's houses. This is somebody's house that was given to be used as one MDA, another one was given as another ministry, another one was given as another agency. But now we have been able to put together and get them into one area. And we build a state-of-the-art secretariat.
16 billion naira.
Yes.
For the secretariat.
For the secretariat.
Is it worth it?
Oh, far more than worth it. Today you cannot get, we even built it because before the dollar changed to what it is, that's why we did it. If you do your investigation, you will find that there are some states out of the 6 states that have just started theirs now, and they are building theirs far more than what we have built ours. It's like our flyover and the underpass. The same contractor, the same company, the same design. We did our own about 16 billion. Another state is doing it about 24 billion because we gave our own much earlier.
Right.
For that. So if you look at the monies that we have spent compared to what is happening today because of the inflation, we get very, very cheap numbers, that you can see.
Right. So the people of Nasarawa have a befitting secretariat. You've been described as the poster boy for Nigeria's investment drive. There's a 400, is $1 billion? $1
million.
Directed to the mining sector.
800 has already been invested in the state, and another 400 is coming. That's the announcement by the Minister of Solid Minerals.
That's interesting. I do recall, I was at the, at the president's visit, and you made a plea to the president to revive the abandoned oil exploration project in Nasarawa state.
Correct.
Why is that? Why is this, so dear to your heart? And what's happening in terms of response from the president so far, since you made that plea?
It's there actually to Nigerian heart. I'm an oil and gas person by background. I work in Houston, Texas, all in the oil and gas sector before I returned to Nigeria. And since I came to Nasarawa as a governor, I work very hard to ensure that at least we carry out the exercise. Oil process is a long one. You start with exploration, we go to appraisal, you go with development, you go with that before you actually go into that. But the beautiful thing about this, what we call onshore, they are just deep inland, so you call them the onshore fields. And the beautiful thing about them is because we are going to do what we call an integrated field development, which means you will produce the oil there, you will produce the gas there, you will now refine the oil there, you produce the power there, you will do all these things, and then you are just taking finished product, either in power, in gas, in these or other places. This is what makes Saudi Arabia great. Most of these fields that are northern part of Riyadh are onshore fields. They are similar to what you are seeing now. Today, for security reasons, Nigeria is a country that has always lived in peace. Otherwise, all our Niger Delta fields are actually exposed. They are exposed if you have in any, God forbid, any kind of danger, any kind of war, any kind of this, they are there. But then you need safety grounds, and that is where you need something deep onshore. These are deep onshore fields all the way to Lake Chad, all the way to Kolmani, in Gombe, all the way. And if you follow the same thing with the Benin Basin, if you take the Benin Basin, it's the same thing. You take it all the way, from Benin. In fact, Anambra Basin starting even from there. Anambra itself, Enugu, this, you have fields there, going all the way through Delta, and then all the way to Gusau and the rest of that. They are belts. Nigeria is so blessed with belts, and then these are the belts that you can follow. We happen to be on the Benue Trough, which is another belt, which is one of the longest belts, by the way, because it starts from Calabar and it goes all the way to Gombe State. And at every particular spot, you are able to have some kind of displacement. So it is the displacement that you are able to discover hydrocarbons there, and then you go ahead with that.
Nigeria is also blessed with natural resources. Let's talk about the new gold. Lithium. Your state recently became a major player in Nigeria's lithium conversation. Your Excellency, I need to ask you, so far, what has happened with your lithium factory? And how are you ensuring that the local communities are benefiting from this new gold, because they bear the brunt of the consequences?
Well, thank you very much. And I think that's the real deal. Today, I started my day in Lafia, and that's the first meeting I had. The first meeting I had was a company called Julian. Julian is a Chinese company that is building a bigger lithium processing plant than the Avatar, which is the one that you are referring to.
Yes.
Avatar is actually in Nasarawa town, and is the one that Mr. President, through the Senate President, came to do. And that one is about 3 million metric tons per annum. Today, we have a bigger one, that is coming. And that is the one that is almost completed. And they came to discuss, we discuss progress every day. So first thing in the morning, we discuss it today. And that is going to happen. Because of time, let me tell you the important things about lithium. Lithium actually got from $6,000 per ton all the way to $78,000 per ton. When the interest on electric vehicles becomes so exciting. And that's why when you refer to it as the new gold, you are perfectly right by referring to it. Now the price is yo-yo, it goes up and comes down and things like that in the international market. But the communities are benefiting because today most of the structures we are putting together, we have the communities take ownership, apart from the employment, apart from CSR that is going there, but they now have ownership.
Okay.
And we already received the first signature bonus that comes to Nasarawa state government from another company called Gafen. They have paid us $1.5 million for the signature bonus, and $500,000 went directly to that particular community. And that's what we did. And every year, based on the production from there, there is going to be profit sharing, and it will be shared, 2/3 to the state government, 1/3 directly to the community.
Right, Mr. Governor, I mean, you have another 2 years to go in Nasarawa. What exactly is your vision for the next 2 years? And how do you ensure that this lofty, projects that you've put in place in your time, that there's continuity? Because that usually is a real challenge when it comes to governance, continuity, where the next person will want to, just discard whatever the previous person did.
One of the exciting things Mr. President came to see was actually our agriculture.
Right.
So we have acquired 10,000 hectares of land. We cultivated 2,000 to do rice. We already harvested that 2,000. Just yesterday, I was at the farm. We have expanded another 1,500 to make it 3,500. I participated in the planting yesterday, of the rice after cultivating the land and did the harrowing and everything like that. Now, going back to your point, we have all these programs. I came from the private sector, actually, to become the governor. And I understand, I was in Dangote Group as a group MD. When the problem, the issue started, about Dangote going to about 14 other countries in Africa to have cement companies. So, and I know some of the challenges Dangote face in one place or the other. So I didn't want to reinvent the wheel, and I didn't want any other investor to have this kind of problems in Nasarawa State. So in every aspect of investment we have in Nasarawa State, we back it by law. We have law to protect, the interests of that. And then we have a one-stop shop, in Nasarawa State also. The one-stop shop is actually called NASIDA. It's a company, it's Nasarawa Investment Development Agency. And that agency purely is to manage investments and investors. If they are having challenges about land, they are having dispute with the community, if they are having that, so they go there. And all these are backed by law, so that no governor can come in tomorrow and say, no, I don't agree. No, there is a law actually that backs it. So that's the way we are doing it.
Great.
So you formalized your legacy, so to say. Just before we let you go, Your Excellency, I need to ask you about the development that has happened and it concerns your state. Well, former Governor Al Makura was recently appointed by President Tinubu to head UBEC, which is responsible for release of counterpart funding in the education sector. What does this mean for Nasarawa State, and are you taking any opportunity from this?
No, well, we see, by the way, he traveled with me to Kano. We just got back together this evening. So first and foremost, we congratulate him. He's my boss, he's my mentor, he's the one I took over from, and he's the person I have a lot of respect for. And I have no doubt he will do a wonderful job, as the chairman of UBEC, and the executive secretary also, Aisha Garba, who actually came from the World Bank in there, is a very good friend of mine also, and she's doing a fantastic job. And I think both of them coming together will do a fantastic job, not for Nasarawa State, not for the benefit of Nasarawa, but for Nigeria, because UBEC has to do with the basic education, with primary education.
Yeah.
And when I came as a governor, the first thing we did was to set up a committee of some university lecturers and experts to carry out a baseline survey, of our primary school. So I know the challenges we have. Every state in the north, for instance, at the primary school level. So, and I think they will do a very good job together. That's all I can say.
All right, and this is what we have to say. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, Governor of Nasarawa State, joining us on Newsnight, Abdullahi Sule, also the chairman of the North Central Governors Forum.